Welcome back to today's recap of the Nasdaq 100 futures on the 2-minute time frame, featuring the dynamic trio of CYMO Pro, PureMO, and our Dynamic VWAP indicator right on up here, right here. My name is Chris, and I'll be your host for this recap today. Now, I'll tell you, today wasn't your average session. I think most of us can agree on that. Overnight, the global markets were in full-blown panic mode. The Hang Seng tanked more than 10%, and by the time the U.S. markets opened, we were straight into a high volatility storm. And a lot of people may ask why, and that's because the tariffs kicked in for most of the world. And sure enough, the open sold off hard. But if you've been around here in these lives long enough, okay, you'd know one thing. We don't panic. We read structure. And CYMO and PureMO were ready to spot the pinpoint the points of exhaustion before most traders even had their coffee. And this gave us confidence early on that the markets were likely to flip. And flip it did. What followed was the mother of all short covering rallies, a full-on snapback that PureMO tracked like a laser, and CYMO had already hinted before it even took off. And then the market settled into what can only be described as a textbook cyclic grind for the remainder of the day. Now, perfect environment to stand down, be patient, or take scalps if, of course, you had the right tools. And if you're wondering whether the bot nailed it again, yep, it did, guys. Our morning bot said that it would be to expect a range-bound cyclic market, and that's exactly how it played out. And you guys can go over to our Discord channel and read the full briefing for this morning. It's in the briefings channel of our Discord, and you'll see right there that it says that we would have cyclic action at the open, that a trend, that the market would evolve into a tight range-bound session throughout the day. All right, we had exactly that throughout the entire session today, which was pretty amazing. I'll tell you the truth. And listen, if our tools don't give you that kind of foresight, then you're not trading, you're guessing. All right, so I'm going to walk you through how all this played out, and how CYMO caught the rotational structure, and how PureMO nailed the momentum entries, and how our dynamic VWAP right here also spotted some of the tops throughout the session. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this bad boy started. Enough of the talk, and let's dive right into the action, shall we? I'm going to redo the recap at 10 times the speed of the market. So it is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bingo, here we go. And I'll be pausing this as I go along to better explain and give you guys a little bit more color and context as well. Okay? So here we go, 9:26 on this little timer right here. It'll fire up the moment it hits 9:30, and that'll be the first candle of our day right there, okay? And here we go. Look at that. That's to scare anyone's socks off right out of the gate, guys. Okay, first bar of the day, you know the rules. We're not going to trade it, or even the second bar of the day right there for that matter. Okay, and we want to let the market shake out a little bit right there before we actually place any trades. You know, I want to see how structure is going to develop here with CYMO. I want to see where exactly is PureMO gonna roll into. Is it gonna roll in down here, or is it gonna do an about face and go up? We don't know that with the first couple of bars, but now we do right here, okay? And the fact that it's down here in its exhaustion zone right there is telling you one thing, that the move that you're seeing right here on your screen is likely to be exhausted. And it's likely to be exhausted, guys. I'm looking for an up trade, not a down trade. You got momentum below the zero line, rolling horizontal over here. You've got cycle right here actually turning down along with momentum right there. Kind of looks like a bit of a scary trade, but you can't be fearful, because these bad boys right here are going to track market structure, and this bad boy over here is telling you that momentum is waning off right there. So if I'm looking for a potential trade opportunity, I'm looking for this thing to come right out the way it just did right there, and for cycle to cut above the 0 line right here. If this happens, that this is a setup to go long, we'll see, okay? Right there, guys. That is your cue, okay? That would be your cue to take that trade to the long side. And let me go ahead and give you the markers as to why that trade made sense. You had cycle that just went up right there. And cycle, by the way, guys, had been falling since the close on Friday over here, okay? So this isn't something new that just happened, okay? Market structure, since the close of Friday's session, told you that the market was already cycling down over here, okay? What PureMO confirmed is that the move to the downside was exhausted right here. That's exactly what this did. And guys, I'll get to your questions. I promise, as soon as I'm done with this quick demo. I just can't take my eyes off the screen and start reading comments because I'll lose my train of thought and I'll miss my exits. But hang on to your questions. I promise I'll answer them for you when I'm done, okay? And in the meantime, if you're anxious about trying to get info on these tools, the link is in my bio. You can click that link and get all the info that you need on these tools. And you won't have to wait for me till the end to get that. So the link in my bio will give you all the info on these tools right here, guys. Here's what just happened. You just had cycle cross below 0, and you have momentum right here still rising. Now this trade is going to end when this purple line crosses below the yellow line right here. And the moment that that happens, this trade is over. The fact that cycle crossed below 0, this is giving you an advance warning that this trade is about to fizzle right there. There it is, guys.
Order filled.
That's where you take the trade off, okay? That was about a little bit over $17,000 in one 2-contract trade. And the trade was taken off because the purple line just crossed below the yellow line right here, okay? Now check this out, all right? I'm going to pause it for just a sec so this thing just doesn't run away. Right here, look at this. Cycle began its upward trend, its upward move, right a little bit past 9:40 in the morning. We already knew the trade was exhausted right out of the gate when PureMO sank to this lower threshold over here. You see that? Okay, and that's really important to see because as much as this might be a tempting trade to take to the downside, guys, it was a very slow moving trade down because momentum had already exhausted itself. It's telling you this down here, okay? And if momentum is exhausting itself, you better be ready for a potential reversal, which is exactly what happened right here where I've got the green arrow plotted, all right? The only thing we needed to confirm to make sure that this thing was actually going to fire off like a missile was cycle crossing above the 0 line right there, okay? And this move to the upside, coupled with this exhaustion point with momentum down here at the bottom, was the perfect rocket fuel you needed to, push this bad boy up. And of course, we know that this was nothing but a bunch of short covering that took place in the market, right? Now, here's something else that you have to be aware of, okay? Momentum pulled price up, and now momentum's in trend mode up here, okay? So what's the rule, guys? If momentum is in trend mode right there, you're likely to have a second cyclic rotation to the upside, okay? And if that's the case, we want to watch the cyan line right there rotate up so we can capture the second swing of that trade. So let's see how that played out in the morning session, okay? So again, momentum is trending right here above the 0.90 threshold, and we've got cycle rising again right here, okay? PureMO is still above the 0 line, which is a good indication that price might continue to go up. And I'm not going to pull the trigger on this bad boy until, okay, right there.
Order
that's
filled.
where you pull the trigger, okay? And that's where you get into the trade right there. Why? Because momentum is still rising, and you just had cycle, bang, right there, hit the 0 line, okay? And I know when it hits the 0 line, it's only got one way to go, and that's up, okay? The momentum indicator is called PureMO, and the indicator here on top is called CYMO Pro. And the links are in my bio. If you need more information, you can grab the link in my bio and check them out right there. This right here, guys, would have been about $30,000, okay? And it's about to hit the top of the VWAP line. And this bad boy right here is at the point of exhaustion.
Order
I don't
filled.
mind clipping that and taking my trade right there, all right? Now, I have to back up a little bit and tell you exactly why that happened and why this would have been a good spot to potentially take your trade off, okay? There are 3 reasons why, and listen up. One is, if you notice here on the Dynamic VWAP, there's a number of lines plotted on the chart. I want to help you make heads or tails of them, okay? This Dynamic VWAP right here has a toggle that whenever price is trending, the lines will actually turn red, and it'll plot here on the chart, and it'll tell you what the market state is, whether the market is trending or whether the market is cycling, okay? Right now, right here, at this point, the market was trending to the upside, and the lines obviously turn green. But there's a second set of green lines right here, this line and this line. And these 2 lines right here represent, okay, the 80-bar look-back period of the indicator, okay? So what it's telling you is that since you have 2-minute charts on the screen, it's telling you that it's looking back the last 160 minutes. What happened the last 160 minutes, okay, in history right there? That's exactly what it's plotting right there. And typically on a 2-minute time frame, when price hits this 160 threshold, here at the top, it generally reverses. And that's exactly what happened. So you had one very good trigger right here that would have caused price to reverse. The second trigger is this, okay? Second trigger is the fact that you were already halfway through cycle number 2. Remember, cycle number 1 began right here. Price goes into trend mode right there. Cycle number 2 begins right here. And right about when price smacked steady, the top of that 80-bar VWAP over here, you're halfway through the rotation of the cycle. Not bad, right? And the third trigger of why we would have taken this trade-off right here is the fact that price was already in an exhaustion point over here, evidenced by PureMO being way up above the 0.90 threshold. You guys see it? Let me go ahead and drop a little box here in case you can't see it on your cell phone. Right there, okay? Now, whenever price hits this exhaustion point, chances are you're going to get a reversal. So you had price in an exhaustion point. You are halfway through cycle number 2, and the fact that price hit the VWAP level, which is the 80-bar VWAP. Guys, you had a trifecta right there, okay? What else do you need to smack daddy you right in the forehead to tell you to get the hell out of the trade, okay? Are you expecting this to go up any higher? No, you're expecting this to do an about face in reverse, which is exactly what it did right there, okay? So now that you're at this exhaustion point and you're at the end of cycle number 2 right here, and you hit the top, it might be a good spot to potentially take a short trade.
Order filled.
Right there, okay? Excellent spot to take a short. Okay, you hit the top, it's coming back down, exhaustion point, you have cycle number 2 just ended right there. Hey, why not take a short? That's exactly what short setups are all about. Right there, okay? Go ahead and put a little arrow right there for you. And keep in mind, guys, this is a cycle trade, meaning that price is right back in the range again between these 3 bands. So your exit is going to happen whenever the purple line and the yellow line intersect again, okay? That's going to be your cyclic exit right there. So we're going to watch that carefully right here. And the moment that purple line and yellow line intersect, that's where we're going to pull the trigger to take the trade off. All right, right there, guys. You saw how cycle just ended right here. It crossed above the 0 line. You had a crossing right there. Good spot to pull the trigger and take your trade off. That is the end of it right there, guys. Okay, right there. You had a little downward cycle that crossed above zero, and you had a crossing of the yellow line right there, which is the perfect spot to pull the trigger and take that bad boy off right there, okay? Now, we've got a little bit of a trend here to the downside, and if there's going to be any more continuation to the downside, you're going to see two things happen. One is you're going to see cycle come right back down and cross zero, in which case we can hop back on and take this further down, and you're going to see the purple line cross below the yellow line, and that'll give you the second confirmation that momentum is actually headed in the same direction that price is moving, okay? But right now, it doesn't look like that's happening, right? If you notice here on your chart, what's happening is that momentum is rising and cycle is above the zero line. Okay? This is typically a momentum setup right here. And the reason why is because you don't have any sine wave formations right there, which means that it appears that momentum is actually pulling price up.
Order filled.
We'll take a long trade right there, and we'll take a long trade because you have momentum rising, cycle above the zero line right there when you pull the trigger, okay? And you've got both components right here that would give you the confidence to take this trade. You've got the purple line above zero, the yellow line within the within the gray box right there. Not a bad spot to take this trade to the upside. And again, this is a momentum long trade. And the reason it's a momentum long trade is because momentum, the yellow line, is the dominant signal. You don't see any sine wave formations right here, do you? You don't see any sine wave formations over here. What this is telling you guys is that momentum is leading the charge, okay? And again, we're going to go ahead and take this trade off the moment that momentum, the purple line crosses over the yellow line right there. Right there. That would be your exit to take this trade off.
Order filled.
Clip it right there, and you'd be done with it, okay? Yeah, and it's not available on TradingView, sorry. Okay, now let's find out what's going to happen. So two possible scenarios could happen right here, okay? Momentum appears to be in trend mode up here. Is the market going to take off and trend to the upside right here? And if it does, is cycle going to come back up above the zero line to really push price up? That's one scenario. The second scenario is cycle meanders below the zero line and momentum falls just the way it did right there. And if momentum falls, guys,
order filled.
That is your entry because momentum is going to pull price down, okay? And if it's pulling price down, guys, you want to ride the momentum wave. There are no sine waves right here to tell you that we're in a cyclic environment right here with CYMO, okay? Price went up. Momentum is now pulling price down again right here, okay? Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of videos on how this works. We have one-on-one sessions. I'll break it down for you as soon as I'm done with this demo, so stick around because the demo is almost done. I'm only going to run this till about maybe 12 noon, and then I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Right here, look at this, guys. Okay, the moment that this bad boy crosses the yellow marker right here, that's it. This trade is officially done and over with, okay? Now, here's what's happening with cycle right here, guys, okay? Cycle is telling you that the market is about to flip on you right here, okay? It's telling you that the downward rotation is almost done. You see this right there? And we just got the crossing right there. Let me go ahead and explain myself, okay? In this section of price, okay, we did not have any sine wave formations, okay? And when you don't have any sine wave formations, momentum is the dominant signal. Momentum rose from the bottom. There was no sine wave formation. Momentum pulled price all the way up. Price came in here into trend mode here with CYMO, and all of a sudden momentum started to wane. It started to fall, okay? Momentum again pulled price down, okay? And right here, the fact that cycle went above 0, okay, that tells you, in fact, let me show you, because this is better shown than explained to you. Right here, the moment that cycle went above 0, okay, right smack daddy right there. Look at that. It gave you a 1, 2, 3 bar lead before the purple line crossed the yellow line to tell you that price was about to reverse, okay? That's the predictive nature of CYMO Pro right there. It's telling you when the cyclic rotations are about to happen in advance, right there, okay? In this case, it happened about 3 bars in advance, right before the purple line crossed over yellow. And that's really important to know that, all right? So let's go ahead and continue and see where this actually took us, okay? Now remember, now you've got momentum down here at the bottom threshold, okay? And we have a couple of things that could potentially happen, all right? Either momentum rises again and continues pulling price up, or we have cycle come down and momentum continues pulling price down. So that's going to be really interesting to watch right now. All right, now we have cycle coming down. Momentum is coming down right here as well. The only thing we need to take this trade is for the purple line to actually come down below the yellow line, okay? If the purple line dips down below the yellow line right there, guys, this is a trade to the short side. And if it doesn't, well, it's not going to be a trade to the short side at all. Okay, look what's happening. Right here, momentum rising, cycle rising. In fact, this to me right here, guys, looks like another momentum trade.
Order filled.
To the upside, okay? If anything, that's most likely what it is, right there, okay? That cycle rise above the 0 line right there. And let's see where this goes. And again, guys, because this is a cycle trade to the upside, we will take the trade off whenever the purple line and the yellow line intersect again, okay? Alrighty, guys, and
order filled.
Bingo, that looks to be it right there. Okay, we had a crossing with momentum right here, and we had cycle come down below the 0 line, and that's the end of that little trade to the upside right there. Okay, and let me just go ahead and mark it right here for you. All right, so let me go ahead and pull the chart back a little bit right there, and I'll go ahead and pause it because that's almost about 12 noon right there. And let me see if I can expand the chart so you guys could actually see. Okay, I pretty much got the entire chart in there. Wow, that's pretty amazing. All right, guys, you're sitting there, you're watching these tools, and as you watch, I want you to ask yourself, what's really stopping you from using these tools? Okay, because here's the deal. You get access to a 7-day free trial, and that's a full week to test the same tools I'm using right now, the same tools that have helped dozens of traders get funded last year and stay consistent this year, okay? The same tools that one of our subscribers used today to nail a $66,000 win in the Nasdaq 100. And you can read his story in the Daily Winners channel of our Discord. He posted that along with the screenshot today, okay? And you can read the story of a few other people who actually made very substantial wins today in our Discord channel as well. These are real traders using these same tools, guys, to absolutely go out there and crush it in the market. All right. Now you get CYMO right here. If you choose to get CYMO, which is perfect for structural timing, you get PureMO right here, which is really designed for momentum-based precision. Scalp Mo's thrown in there free for navigating the cyclic environment of the market, and you also get the Dynamic VWAP right here, okay? And 2 free one-on-one sessions to set it all up. Now look at the Dynamic VWAP right here, guys, okay? Price rolled down, told you the market was in trend mode, came right back up, smack daddied right here at this resistance level, broke right through it, hit the 80 bar VWAP up here, and just like that, guys, it did an about face and rolled right back down to the bottom support right here. And what happened after it hit the bottom support? Came right back up, hit resistance, came right back up, hit support, rolled around a little bit, and came right back up, hit resistance, and again, guys, all right? That's precision trading for you right there. All of it free for 7 days. There's no risk, no catch, no nonsense, just powerful tools, real traders, and a support system that actually gives a damn. So stop sitting on the fence, guys. Click the link in my bio, start your 7-day test drive, and stop trading in the dark. This is what precision trading looks like on a very volatile day like today, guys. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and stop there and answer any questions you guys might have.